Hey everyone, MarchG8 here bringing you guys a new game review. Today we're going to be reviewing Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which is supposed to be the final release for Square Enix until they release Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a collection that contains a remastered version of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, which originally was released in 2012 on the Nintendo 3DS, Kingdom Hearts Key Backstory, which is a short movie, and then Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage, which is an episode featuring Aqua and uses the same technology used in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's basically a tech demo. So, you all know that I love me some Kingdom Hearts. It's been a franchise that I have been following well over 10 years now, and it's probably one of my all-time favorites. So when Kingdom Hearts 2.8 came out, y'all know I had to go out and get it. But I wanted to bring this review out relatively soon because I had a couple of worries about it. I was worried that this game might turn into some kind of cash grab for Square Enix, with it only having a remastered 3DS game that's almost 5 years old, what is essentially a tech demo for Kingdom Hearts 3 and a short movie that has very little to do with the story on hand, while still maintaining a full game price tag, whereas the other collections we've seen released have all been priced around $40 to $50. Now that I've played through it and I've got a feeling of what it has to offer, I don't feel that it's such a ripoff, but I do have to admit there are problems with it. Okay, but before we get into that, I want to sing praise for what this game did right. A Fragmentary Passage, which is a lost episode of Aqua in the Dark World, is absolutely beautiful in terms of design and graphics. Kingdom Hearts 3 has never looked this gorgeous and well designed before. The details and the design of the environments and characters, the effects that are used when spells are cast, the particle effects of Heartless being destroyed, all just make for a great taste of what Kingdom Hearts 3 has to offer. Plus, the game runs incredibly smooth and fluid. Combat is very fast-paced and enjoyable, with no prolonged pauses in between combos. Can't really say the same thing for Dream Drop Distance though, unfortunately, but we'll get to that later. Spells also have new majorly improved effects on them, such as leaving elemental impacts on enemies. You can now freeze enemies solid using Blizzaga, you can leave electrical damage that surges through enemies with Thundaga, and I don't know, but I'm assuming that Furaga actually does burn damage, but I haven't noticed it yet. It's more of an explosion, so I don't know. Dream Drop Distance even looks great with its remastered graphics and its higher frame rate to match its PlayStation 3 counterparts. I know I'm going a little bit off topic here, but I kind of wish Square Enix would make a Kingdom Hearts game for the handheld system be more of a turn-based system. I kind of think that would work a lot better and be a lot more interesting, but like I said, off topic. A Fragmentary Passage also introduces a new feature that is a small one, but one that is appreciated, and one that I honestly hope makes a return in Kingdom Hearts 3. You can now tweak Aqua's outfit to have different designs on it, or have little novelty items on it. You can unlock these by completing various little side objectives. It's a nice touch, and it definitely gives a reason to go back and finish the game again. The game mechanics and the combat system for both A Fragmentary Passage and Dream Drop Distance both basically recycle the command deck system used in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, where you customize the deck with abilities, spells, techniques, and items you want to use in battle. Now, while I feel this system is more restricting than the original system used in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, which has a more traditional JRPG element to it, I also feel that the command deck works a lot smoother in battle. Back in the Kingdom Hearts era, I always found it to be a pain to try and navigate the battle menus to try and find the spell I needed if it wasn't mapped in the customization menu, which, thank God, does make a return in both of these games. There are various differences between the two games' combat system. For one, Dream Drop Distance has a thing called flow motion, which basically allows you to perform various actions like bouncing off walls, grinding rails, and spinning around poles like a Friday Night Stripper, which can then be comboed off of to use special abilities. A Fragmentary Passage once again uses Birth by Sleep elements with an ability called Shot Lock and style changes, which can give you alternative modes like Spellweaver, or even give you access to master level spells like Blizzaga, Furaga, and Thundaga, which look amazingly powerful. Alright, so I want to talk about some of the problems I had with these two games, and I'm going to be doing it in two parts. One is going to be strictly focused on gameplay, as to not spoil anything for anyone, and the other is going to be story, where I will be giving spoilers to the story, so I will give you guys a heads up on that. But let me tell you, A Fragmentary Passage itself, within its 3 hours of gameplay, opens up probably one of the biggest plot holes in this franchise that I've ever seen. But we'll talk about that in a bit. So, Dream Drop Distance. Holy hell, is the combat in this game slow as shit. The response time between commands is sluggish as hell, and what you end up with is constantly being thrown out of the flow of the battle, because Riku and Sora take forever to follow up with their combos. I mean, it takes me 2 or 3 times of pressing the lock-on button when I'm in a group of enemies to lock on to anything. And this doesn't just apply to combat. The entire game just feels like it has delayed response times. Like, I can forgive this and see past it if it was on the 3DS, but on the PlayStation 4? That just irritates me, and I had to stop a number of times because I kept getting frustrated that enemies were able to dodge me so frequently because of this delay. Also, Dream Drop Distance is just a remastered 3DS game that's almost 5 years old. It's not a final mix, so it doesn't have any additional content to it like the last two collections did, and because it's a 3DS game, it has significantly less content than any of the main series titles have. I don't really know why Square Enix made this collection in the first place. It doesn't really make sense to me, as the timeline is all over the place in it. I want to think that they decided upon this collection after the release of 2.5 Final Mix, because let's be honest here, it would have been a much better collection if it was Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix with a fragmentary passage and key backstory, and Dream Drop Distance would then go on to the 2.5 collection. That seems to me like it would make a lot more sense. Now, a fragmentary passage, like I said before, can literally be played within 2 to 3 hours. If you straight shot that thing, knowing exactly where you need to go and what you need to do, you can probably get it down in under 2 hours. Now, that doesn't include the 51 side objectives, some of which can even be missed, but even those can be done relatively quickly once you know how to get them. The lack of boss design was also pretty disappointing. So, now I'm going to skip to the spoilers territory, and if you want to skip ahead, I will leave the time that you can skip to below in the description. Final warning for spoilers. First off, Dream Drop Distance has always probably been my least favorite Kingdom Hearts game in terms of how the story plays out and how it treats Sora. I think it's absolute bullshit that Yin Sid only picks Riku to become the Keyblade Master at the end of the game, because he took that extra step to awaken Sora when Sora would have done this numerous times for both Riku and Kairi throughout the series. I think it's absolute bullshit that this game marked the point where the series really emphasized that Sora wasn't meant to get the Keyblade that Riku was. It has this kind of, oh, you're just a replacement kind of feel to it, and at the end of the day, seeing Yin Sid give Riku the Keyblade Mastery, and in a way, discrediting everything Sora has done up to this point, just left a pretty salty taste in my mouth. Last I checked, where was Riku at during Kingdom Hearts 2? Almost the entire time. Mostly moping around because he used the darkness again and changed his form, going a little bit out of his way here and there to keep Kairi out of danger or to mess with the organization's plan. All while sending Sora on this massive quest to try and find his damn friends, and therefore getting him sucked into the forefront of another war against the Heartless. The first one, might I add, got him sucked in because a certain someone decided to touch the darkness. Sora has now been the main forefront of 2 major Heartless wars, gone through hell and back again to save countless lives including his friends, and you're telling me Riku gets the Keyblade Mastery because he dived back into the Dream World to free his friends? This story is so stupid sometimes. Now, a fragmentary passage didn't piss me off nearly as much, but it does open a major plot hole in the series. One that makes me wonder whether it's time for the developers of the game to take a moment, sit back, and refresh themselves on their own story. So, for the longest time, I thought that Mickey had no idea that Aqua was trapped in the Dark World until either after the events of Kingdom Hearts 2 or somewhere leading up to that. This would explain why he calls the help of Sora and Riku at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 in the secret ending. For those of you who are unaware of why Aqua is trapped, she basically sacrificed herself to save her friend Terra from falling into it. Terra would then later become the new vessel for Xehanort. I also had a really good feeling that a fragmentary passage would actually show her finding a way out of the Dark World with the help of Sora and Mickey, as that would explain a lot of things shown in the trailers for both Kingdom Hearts 3 and 2.8, such as why Sora picks up Ericus's Keyblade, and why Aqua reaches up to grab Sora's hand at the ending of the open cinematic for 2.8. I was actually hoping that she would become Sora's mentor to finish his training on becoming a Keyblade Master, and this would be the start of Kingdom Hearts 3. That's not the case though. The events that play out in a fragmentary passage lead right up to the ending of the first Kingdom Hearts game. And guess who finds her still trapped in the fucking Dark World? Mickey. So let me get this straight. Mickey, who is aware of who Aqua is, she is a master Keyblade wielder of light, and has been trapped in the Dark World for over 10 years. Mickey knows all of this while still knowing that Riku, who has the power of darkness again and can travel from the Dark World to the Light World with ease, as he has with Ansem the Wise numerous times. And Mickey never once says anything to him about her needing help until after the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, long after he loses his ability to travel to the Dark Realms. It can't be that hard to find her either, as Mickey himself states in this freaking thing that he tracked her using the warmth of her light. And she's even able to find Ansem the Wise at the end of Birth by Sleep, who's been trapped there after his machine blew up in Kingdom Hearts 2. Sometimes I just don't know where they're going to go with the story at times. I don't even know if they have a congruent plan of a beginning, middle, end. But whatever. Finally, I'm not going to talk about the movie because it's shit. Best way I can describe it, it's more pointless exposition that makes fans ask more questions than it ever bothers to answer into an already overinflated lore. The movie has very little to do with the events that are leading up to the third game, and it mainly focuses at the events that lead up to the ancient Keyblade War, which leads up to Birth by Sleep. And it's basically, who's the traitor? Who's the traitor? Who's the traitor? The entire movie. There's like one cool battle scene in the entire fucking movie, and the rest is them just bantering about trying to find out who the traitor is. And it's just all build up and no payoff. So, for my final score, I give Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue a 6 out of 10. At the end of the day, I wouldn't recommend going out and buying this at full price. I would at least wait until the price drops, and then you can go pick it up. While it does include a remastered game that has only been available via the 3DS, and it is refreshing to see what's in store for us with Kingdom Hearts 3, the game is almost 5 years old, and it's not nearly as big as other Kingdom Hearts games, and the chapter is about 3 hours of gameplay. I just can't justify that being full priced. But these are just the opinions of one man with the amazing powers of a PlayStation 4, a YouTube channel, and a passion for gaming. If you agree or disagree, please feel free to leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video and want to hit the like button, it would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to see more of these, or just want to join the team, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thanks everyone. Till the next time, Mars out. Did it seriously just do an Assassin's Creed? It did. It just Easter egged Assassin's Creed.